The director of Ohio University's LGBT Center is appealing the school's decision to remove them. The partial government shutdown is now the longest in American history, as Congress proposes 2 bills to end it. And in sports, the OU men's basketball team gears up to take on Western Michigan tonight at the Combo. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Good evening, I'm Steven Hernandez. Thank you for joining us. Former Ohio University LGBT Director Delphine Bautista, who uses the pronouns they and them, is appealing the school's decision to not renew their contract set to end after the school year. The appeal cites a history of undermining behavior and lack of respect from Gigi Secuban, the vice president of OU's Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Bautista also noted several times in which they reported concerns to the university, only to be told that there was nothing they can do. Bautista will continue to be paid by the university until the contract expires at the end of the semester. Currently, Tyrone Carr, Executive Director of the Interlink Alliance and Special Assistant for the Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion at the university, is serving as Interim Director of the LGBT Center. A number of students have shown their support for Delphine since their dismissal. A group of protesters interrupted Ellis Hall's ribbon-cutting ceremony Friday. Protesting Bautista's removal, the students came into Ellis Hall at the beginning of the ceremony with posters and chants directed towards OU's Board of Trustees and administration. Bautista spoke at Saturday's Women's March as well, with students showing their support throughout the event. A suspended Ohio University professor now faces a civil lawsuit over a sexual harassment case. Attorney Michael Fraden filed the suit against Dr. Yusuf Kaliango and the United States District Court Southern District of Ohio on Sunday. Fraden will represent one of the women who has accused Kaliango of sexual harassment. The attorney cited Title IX and discrimination statutes in his filing with the court. He notes that the statute of the United States Code says discrimination is prohibited in any education program receiving federal financial assistance. Hundreds of teachers at Wright State University are on strike. Officials at the Southwest Ohio State School say classes will continue. Some classes will be combined, others will be taught by substitutes or offered online. The union rejected the latest employment terms issued by the school's Board of Trustees. Those terms involved areas including health care and pay. West Virginia University is disciplining some students after a student was injured at a fraternity house. In November, a student fell down steps and was knocked unconscious at the Sigma Alpha Epsilon frat house. He remains hospitalized. 3 students are no longer enrolled at the university. 15 others have agreed to other disciplinary action, ranging from deferred suspension to probation. The frat house remains on interim suspension.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm Matt Thigpen. Currently in Athens, we warmed up quite nicely today. We're sitting pretty at 36 degrees. Those clouds have moved in ahead of our next weather maker, but we are again warming up. We see those south winds at 3 miles per hour. Taking a look across the region, like I said, those warmer temperatures are being brought up from the south. Down in Ironton, we have 38 degrees, 35 in Ripley, 34 in Jackson, and our cooler spots are up to the north. That snowpack is helping to keep those temperatures down, but that won't last long as we see rain incoming in the next 24 hours. 30 up in Newark and 33 over in Columbus. We'll see those south winds continue throughout the night. We'll warm up, and we'll see those rain showers move from west to east throughout the evening hours and into the early morning hours as you're heading to work. And stay tuned for my look at the full forecast to see how that'll impact your Wednesday commute.
Thanks for the weather update, Matt. It was a terrifying weekend for a family of 7 on an icy lake in Ohio. They all fell through thin ice into the frigid water below. Luckily, fishermen who knew how to help were nearby. Nadine Grimley has a story.
Scott Olstrom was back on the ice fishing in his shanty on Mosquito Lake this morning, but Sunday, just as he finished packing up his gear.
I heard screaming, which I thought was someone who caught a big fish, and they were yelling and screaming and celebrating. As I looked out, There was an ice shanty at a 45-degree angle, and I could see 3 heads in the water.
Olstrom called 911 and gave his rope to other fishermen who helped save a family of 7, including 3 children who fell through the ice.
Zach was carrying one of the twins who was just dripping wet and shaking like crazy, and I grabbed him halfway off the dock, put him in the passenger side, turned the heat on high.
I guess they were using old ice fishing holes. When we had that little warm spot, the holes had expanded, which probably even made the ice thinner to where they were.
Firefighter paramedic Rob Wasser is also an ice fisherman. He says right now the ice just isn't safe. And with water temperatures in the 30s, it only takes minutes for hypothermia to set in.
The ice has had somewhat of a slow start this year because we've had a warmer than average January up to this point.
The family was taken to the hospital, but they've all since been released.
They're extremely lucky because had they not had other people around them to assist them in getting out, it could have been very, very bad.
It was a group of 10 to 12 guys all out here, all helping whenever they could and however they could.
In Bezetta, Nadine Grimley, WKBN 27 First News.
The Athens Fire Department is set to receive a $33,000 grant. The grant is from the State Fire Marshal's office and will be used for its communication system. The office awarded around $3 million to 200 separate fire departments throughout Ohio. The Athens mayor has a new award this year. Mayor Steve Patterson was named Public Official of the Year by the National Association of Social Workers Columbus chapter. The association gave out a number of other awards meant to recognize contributions made by social workers and community leaders who reflect the organization's values and ethics. The shutdown continues while Congress tries to introduce bills to end it. We'll have the latest on Capitol Hill. Also coming up, the Supreme Court rules on the transgender military ban. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
Well, if you love TVC basketball action as much as we do, well then we got the show for you, Hardwood Heroes. Come along with us as we will be breaking down all the action every week. It airs Sundays at 11 p.m. and again Mondays at 6 p.m. But remember, our coverage isn't just limited to the show. We have content being posted all week long on our Twitter, Facebook, and even Snapchat. We will also have written recaps posted on our webpage and video recaps on our YouTube channel. So check those out as well. And always remember to be heroic.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
The United States Supreme Court ruled today in favor of allowing President Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military to go into effect. In a 5-4 vote, the court decided to allow the ban to move forward while the final decision is to be made by the lower courts. The policy prohibits those diagnosed with gender dysphoria from serving, allowing those without the condition to serve as long as they do so as the gender they were assigned at birth. Transgender Staff Surgeon Patricia King says the ban will not stop those who want to serve.
Implementing a ban again will not stop Americans from wanting to serve their country. And some of those Americans happen to be transgender.
After the Supreme Court ruling, the Pentagon released a statement saying the policy is not a ban on all transgender people, and that they, quote, treat all transgender persons with respect and dignity. Congress gets back to work on Capitol Hill as the partial government shutdown enters its 5th week. Both chambers are set to take action on legislation aimed at reopening the government, but neither bill is likely to end the stalemate. CNN's Karen Kafer reports.
House and Senate leaders pushing legislation to reopen the government. Neither bill likely to get it done.
We want the Republicans to take yes for an answer for bills that they have led the way on and negotiated in order to open up government.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell moving a version of President Trump's weekend proposal that includes $5.7 billion for the border wall and 3 years of protection for 700,000 undocumented immigrants who arrived in the U.S. as children, an extension of the Obama-era DACA program Trump seeks to end.
To reject this proposal, Democrats would have to prioritize political combat with the president ahead of federal workers, ahead of DACA recipients, ahead of border security.
But Democrats have deemed it a non-starter. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to move a package of bills to reopen most shuttered federal agencies plus $1 billion in border security funding, but not the president's wall. 5 weeks in, many of the 800,000 government employees caught in the middle face tough financial choices, like Francis Nichols, a pretrial services officer working without pay.
I haven't had a full tank of gas since probably the shutdown. I've been putting in only what I need to make sure that I can have food.
Federal workers are slated to miss another paycheck on Friday. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafer.
The shutdown has lasted 31 days so far, making it the longest in American history. The House of Representatives is set to vote tomorrow on Pelosi's plan to reopen the government. However, even if it passes, it would still need to be approved by a Republican-controlled Senate. The video of a teen and Native American facing off in Washington is going viral. But new information about the standoff is coming to light. That story is still ahead.
And after the break, we're going to talk about a slight warm-up ahead. We're going to talk about rain or snow this week and a weekend preview. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Member support. WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
Well, if you love TVC basketball action as much as we do, well then we got the show for you. Hardwood Heroes. Come along with us as we will be breaking down all the action every week. It airs Sundays at 11 p.m. and again Mondays at 6 p.m. But remember, our coverage isn't just limited to the show. We have content being posted all week long on our Twitter, Facebook, and even Snapchat. We will also have written recaps posted on our webpage and video recaps on our YouTube channel. So check those out as well. And always remember to be heroic.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Matt Thigpen. Taking a look at the current temperatures here in Athens. Again, we're sitting pretty at 36 degrees, warmed up pretty nice. We warmed up about 27 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, warming up again, so south winds are helping out. Across the region, we're into the lower 30s up to our north and those upper 30s down to our south. That warm air is just going to push up through the southeastern Ohio region and our coverage area. We'll see those clouds starting to increase from east to west, and we will see rain showers move in also. Taking a look at our almanac for today, we saw a high of 38 degrees, and again, that low was at 3 degrees this morning, so we warmed up quite nicely, and we're right about there for normal, so we warmed up nicely, and we will continue to see that high actually increase throughout the evening hours. A slight warm-up is ahead. It'll start tonight, and we'll see that rain move in, and a little chance of snow after behind the cold front, so a quick inch could be possible. And I'll take a look at your extended forecast for the weekend. Tonight, lows 26 in Athens, 30 down in Jackson, 32 in Ironton, 25 in New Lexington. And taking a look at our tonight's forecast, 40 degrees. Sorry about that. That graphic was not supposed to be there. 40 degrees. Rain moves in late, warming up those south winds. So we'll be in the mid to lower 40s throughout most of the evening. South winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at our hour by hour for tomorrow. So we're going to see that rain start to move in about 8 a.m. right as you're heading out the door, getting those kids off to the bus stop. So the scattered showers will be moving in, and we'll see a few peaks of sunshine. So you get to see that sunrise for a second. By noon, by lunch hour, as you're heading out to lunch, it'll be 46 degrees. We'll see that rain increase. It'll engulf much of the region. 49 by 4 p.m. if you're starting to head out to work and head out the door. 49 degrees and rain is likely. Looking at tomorrow's highs, 49 here in Athens, and we're warmer down in Ironton at 52 degrees, 53 in Ripley, and 47 in New Martinsville. So we'll see rain all over the region, and that'll continue throughout most of your Wednesday. Some rainfall estimates looking across much of our region. We'll see about 3/4 of an inch of rain across much of our region, but we could go all the way up to an inch or even more across, especially towards our southern locations down in Ironton. So that flooding potential is there. The ground is nice and frozen from those cold temperatures that we saw this weekend, so there's nowhere for the rain to go but into the creeks and streams. So watch out for those flooding prone areas. Taking a look at our extended forecast, Wednesday, 100% chance of rain. Of course, that rain will engulf much of the area. Ending at some snow showers on Thursday morning, about an inch expected. 20, we cool back down on Friday. Saturday looks like the best day out of the weekend, though. 30 degrees and sunny skies. And we'll back to the wintry weather Sunday and into Tuesday. We got to watch out for that system on Tuesday, so stay tuned to WOUB. Stephen?
As always, thanks for the weather. I guess it's just not cold enough for it to be snow yet. A teen caught on video facing off a Native American elder at a march Friday says he was trying to, quote, defuse the situation. He says a look at all of the video shows what really happened. CNN's Sarah Sadner explains.
The Catholic high school student who comes face to face with a Native American elder in a viral video is now responding. In a statement, student Nick Sandman says the viral video does not reflect the true nature of events when the students arrived at the Lincoln Memorial. When we arrived, we noticed 4 African American protesters who were also on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, he said. The protesters said hateful things. Indeed, a small group of black men who identify as Hebrew Israelites did say hateful things to seemingly everyone around them, including a priest.
Let's make America great again. A bunch of child molesting
and the students.
See how you got these pompous bastards come down here in the middle of a native rally with their dirty ass hat on?
When a black visitor tries to stand up against their rhetoric, he faces hate too.
You got all these dirty behind you with a red Make America Great hat again on, and you want to fight your brother.
At first, the Catholic students there for the March for Life are still in small numbers, but more and more show up, watching but not engaging. The small group of men continue taunting them.
A bunch of incest babies. A bunch of babies made out of incest.
Sandman says the rhetoric was startling. Because we were being loudly attacked and taunted in public, a student asked one of our teacher chaperones for permission to begin school spirit chants to counter the hateful things that were being shouted at our group. And they do. At one point, a student removes his shirt and the chants drown everything out. 2 minutes later, you hear a drum beat. That is Nathan Phillips, an Omaha tribe elder, and another drummer. Phillips says it was their attempt to thwart potential violence. The kids dance to it. They begin chanting, some doing a tomahawk chop, which Native Americans consider offensive.
I realized I had put myself in a really dangerous situation. You know, it's like, here's a group of people who were angry at somebody else, and I put myself in front of that.
Phillips, a Vietnam veteran, walks around. Other students avoid him until you see him come face to face with the student who has now gone viral. In his statement, the student says he was the one trying to de-escalate the situation, not Phillips. I believe that by remaining motionless and calm, I was helping to diffuse the situation. I realized everyone had cameras and that perhaps a group of adults was trying to provoke a group of teenagers into a larger conflict. Sandman has every opportunity to move back. So does Phillips. Neither do. While they faced off, the kids face more taunting from the Hebrew Israelite group.
This is a bunch of future school shooters.
That's right.
While Phillips maintains he felt the kids were mocking him and being rude, Sandman says it was the adults using hateful words and trying to provoke the kids, not the other way around.
The diocese that oversees the high school says it's investigating. Both the diocese and the mayor of their city condemned the students' behavior. But now Congressman Thomas Massie, who represents their district, is praising the students' actions.
Hello everybody, I'm Brian Kerp. There's a lot of basketball to talk about today. Later on, hear from Ohio women's basketball coach Bob Bolin as he previews tomorrow night's game against Northern Illinois. And then right after the break, a preview of tonight's Ohio men's basketball game against Western Michigan. All that and more coming up next on Newswatch. And here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
Welcome back, I'm Brian Kerp. The Ohio men's basketball team has lost 2 straight in 4 of their last 5 conference games. It may be early, but the Bobcats are currently at the bottom of the MAC East. Bowling Green and Buffalo are at the top of the division, both with a 5-0 record. Behind them is Kent State. The Golden Flashes have won 2 straight games. The Akron Zips currently have a 2-3 record and are coming off a loss to Miami. Speaking of Miami, the Red Hawks are at the bottom of the standings with the Bobcats. Both have a 1-4 conference record. The good news is the Bobcats have a chance to get back in the win column tonight, as they will tip off against Western Michigan in less than 10 minutes from inside the Convo. The Broncos are winless in conference play with an 0-5 record and also have a 6-12 overall record. A player to watch out for is Michael Flowers. He averages about 16 points per game and is shooting about 43% from the field. This season, for the Bobcats, Jason Carter currently leads the team in scoring. He is averaging 16.4 points per game. The Ohio women's basketball team is currently sitting at the top of the East Division with a 4-1 conference record. The Bobcats are currently at the top with Buffalo with the same record, but the Bobcats pulled off an overtime win against the Bulls earlier this year. The Bobcats matchup against Miami next week is shaping up to be a big game. The Redhawks currently have a 3-2 record, same with Kent State. Akron has a 2-3 conference record, and lastly, Bowling Green has an 0-5 record. Ohio will travel to face the Falcons on Saturday. But before they travel to Bowling Green, though, Bob Bowling and the Bobcats will play Northern Illinois on the road tomorrow night. Unlike past years, the Huskies have an all-around team.
They used to just try to outscore you, and they're still trying to score, and they're still playing fast. But now their defense looks much improved, at least statistically speaking. Over last week, they were solid defensively. So that's a little bit new. Offensively, they're still playing as fast as they ever have. So. Some similarities there.
Now on to high school girls basketball. Last night, the Megs Lady Marauders hosted the Eastern Lady Eagles in a TVC matchup, and it was Megs that came out victorious. Lady Marauders snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 61-35 win over 9-5 Eastern. The dynamic duo, Cassidy Bensing and Mallory Hawley, led the way for Megs. The two combined for 33 points. The leading scorer for Eastern was Allison Bailey. She led the Lady Eagles with 15 points. Both teams are in action on Thursday. Megs travels to Alexander, and Eastern will host Trimble. Tonight, WOUB's Hardwood Heroes will be covering 3 high school basketball games featuring teams from the Tri-Valley Conference. The girls' game of the week will feature Nelsonville York and Federal Hawking. Lady Buckeyes are currently on a 3-game winning streak, while the Lady Lancers have won 3 of the last 4 games. There are 2 boys' games tonight as well. Alexander travels to face Warren. The Spartans are currently on a 4-game winning streak. Additionally, Point Pleasant from West Virginia will face the Eastern Eagles. I'm Brian Kerp, and that's it for sports. Back over to you, Stephen.
Thanks, Brian. And look at these incredible photos. This is in Ontario, and parts of Niagara Falls are frozen. The extreme cold in the Northeast could set new records. The winter storm that blanketed the East Coast and Midwest over the weekend has left at least 8 people dead.
Thanks, Stephen. Taking a look at our final look at weather. Again, 35 degrees at 8 a.m. We'll be warming up throughout the evening hours today. So as you're heading out, you'll need to take that umbrella and rain jacket and rain boots. By noon, as you head out for lunch, 46 degrees as rain showers move into the region and blanketing the region as you head home. So be careful out there. Watch out for those slippery roadways as we head into the evening hours. Taking a look at Thursday, we'll see the snow showers move in behind this cold front with a cold burst of air. Have a low of 12 degrees and about an inch of snow. Saturday looks to be the best day of the weekend, 30 degrees and sunny.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Steven Hernandez, and that's all for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour, and remember, you can catch the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night.